and also we are trying to discuss the traveling salesman problem, both kind of problems. Basically, if you ask me what is traveling salesman problem is also one kind of a special case, you can say, that can be solved with using different methods. But when traveling salesman problem is picked up in assignment problem, we can solve it when we have square matrix up to square matrix up to order of matrix is 6. So probably if you have a 6 rows and 6 column matrix, then probably we can apply the assignment problem for that traveling salesman problem. So assignment solutions are the same steps are followed, you know, row reduction, column reduction, assignment and all. But the traveling salesman, as we all know, it probably, as the name itself suggests, salesmen mean somewhere we are trying to connecting it to marketing. Okay, so marketing and sales, where people are given certain targets and people are given certain territories, so they are supposed to cover the territories minimum possible routes, and by cutting down the cost on reaching out to maximum people. So this is the aim of marketing or a sales division. Now they have when they come out with different territories, in different territories they have n number of cities and all. So they always sit back and think from where do they start, where do they connect, so that they can traveling to same cities is avoided, so that they can cover all the maximum cities and come back to the origin with the minimum shortest route possible, and also covering maximum number of customers. So basically the idea of traveling salesman problem talks about the identifying the shortest route possible, and the cost associated with it. Okay, so let's begin the session now. So now I have to start off with what is a traveling salesman problem. So traveling salesman problem, it is an algorithmic problem tasked with finding that shortest route between a set of points and locations. So basically we are given, in the previous problems we have seen, we were given jobs and machines. So basically here it is also in the form of square matrix, but here it will be given from cities and to cities. There will be a 4 set of different cities. So now our job lies in identifying those 4 cities, covering maximum, making the shortest route possible, so that no city is covered twice. Okay, now the problem which I have given here, you can see the from city and to city is given here, and in between the distance between A to B, you can see there is A to A there is infinity, B to B there is infinity, C to C there is infinity. I hope you all remember the symbol of infinity. Okay, now what does that mean? Basically, if a person starts from A city, he cannot move to A city only. Suppose if a person is given Gokak, Belgaum, and then let's say Hubli. Okay, if he starts from Gokak he can start, either he can move to Belgaum or he can move to Hubli, and he has choice. But Gokak mein hi reh ke he cannot, from city and to city can't be same. So that's the meaning of that infinity. From A to A he can't move, from B to B he can't move, from C to C he cannot make a move, and from D to D he cannot make a move. So basically the understanding of this infinity is also that the cost associated with that infinity is much bigger number. So this is already been given. Sometimes the wherever I have written infinity, there you will not see anything written. Sometimes they will just put the dash mark. So by that also you have to understand that from and to city cannot, we cannot make a move. So the two basically the conditions of traveling salesman problem is that first condition is he cannot travel from A city to A city, and second one is he cannot make any, suppose he starts from A, he goes to city B and then come back to A. That he cannot do. When he starts his journey, he should minimum cover all the cities and then only he should comes back to A. That should be the ultimate aim of this traveling salesman problem. How to solve this traveling salesman problem? When we say there are different methods are there, but when we take traveling salesman problem in an assignment, so the assignment applications remain same. That is, step 1 is check for a square matrix. We have checked for square matrix. Yes, this is a square matrix of order of matrix is 4. And then when we say if it is a square matrix, then we should go in for a step 2. So when we go a step 2, we go in for a row reduction. Row reduction is done by identifying a minimum element in each row. Suppose in from A, from B, from C, from D, the minimum elements are identified in row A. Everybody can unmute and can answer me which is the minimum element.
16.
I think Parvez and Amit are very new to this
40,
class. They can answer
32,
me.
36.
16 is the minimum element. Now 16 will come and sit. In B row, which is the minimum element? 40 is the minimum element. In row C, 32 is the minimum element. In row D, 40 is the minimum element. Right? So having said that, now what are we supposed to do? From minimum element, the bigger element, from bigger element, the minimum elements are subtracted and new matrix are formed, and then that particular matrix is called row reduced matrix or reduced row matrix, right? So when we do that row reduction, our new matrix will be, can anybody tell me what will be the answer of first row? Infinity, you just leave it, don't touch it. 46 minus 16. What is the answer? 30. Then 16 minus 16 is 0. 40 minus 16 is 24.
24.
This is how we should write. So the next matrix will be, that means the reduced matrix will be this. Now you can cross verify. 46 minus 16 is 30, 16 minus 16 is 0, 40 minus 16 is 24. Likewise, in every row, we have reduced and we have to keep it. Okay? And this is called row reduced matrix. Clear? Now, the step 2 is, whatever reduced matrix is there, we are taking it forward for column reduction. We are doing it. So when we say column reduction, obviously we have to look in. Now in the previous step, that is in step 2, we were trying to look into row. Now we have to look into column. Whatever we have got, the reduced matrix, from that only we have to identify a minimum element including 0. Now in the first column of 2 of A, infinity, 1, 50, 0. Now Amit or Parvez can tell me out of these, 1, 50 and 0, which is the minimum element here or a smallest element? 0. Hello? Okay. So minimum element is 0. And in column B also minimum element is 0. In column C, the minimum element is 0. And in column D, minimum element is 0. Now once these elements are identified, what we are supposed to do? We just have to reduce them from the other elements. That is 1 minus 0 is 0, 50 minus 0 is 0. So you will have an idea, anything, minus 0 is the same number. So that means the matrix will be same. This is what we have got now. It is called a reduced column matrix. Clear? Why the matrix is remaining same here? Because all the minimum elements are 0. So anything which is reduced from 0, probably all we have is same matrix. 1 minus 0 is 0, 50 minus 0 is 50 minus 0 is 50, 0 minus 0 is 0. Similarly, in column B, 30 minus 0 is 30, 0 minus 0 is 0, 0 minus 0 is 0. Then in column C, 0 minus 0 is 0, 10 minus 0 is 10, infinity, you don't touch it, keep it as it is, and 4 minus 0 is 4. Likewise, you have to do it. Now the row reduction has been done, the column reduction is done. Now next step is we have to do it for a assignment. Now to have an assignment, column whatever we have got no in the previous step, the column reduced matrix, that we are taking it forward now. So here the assignment starts. What does the assignment rule says? Can anybody tell me? How does the assignment will go? Ramesh Sutar, you can answer me. Ramesh?
Don't know, ma'am.
Don't know? Okay. Akshita? Or let me wait. Sumant? Sumant can answer this? Sumant? Okay, or Tina can answer this? Tina?
From row, I think.
From A row? Yes?
From A row.
Who is answering? Sumant
C.
is answering?
Faisal.
Faisal? Yes,
Yeah.
Faisal, yes. Tell me, Faisal. From
C,
A
ma'am.
row, we are supposed to make the assignment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
C column.
C column. From A, see, basically the rule says row wise we have to start and we have to do the assignment where exactly there is a single zero in that particular row. So in the first row, that is A row, single zero is in column C. So we have assigned there. We also need to check if there are any subsequent zeros in that particular column. There are no zeros, so don't worry. Next, second assignment, where does it go? Faisal can tell me.
D.
From B row, it goes to
From
D.
B row, D column.
Yes, B row, it goes to D column. And whenever you make that assignment, it is mandatory that you should check for subsequent zeros in that particular column. If there are no zeros, no worries. But if there are zeros, mandatorily you have to cross mark them. Now, in the C row,
B column.
C row, it is B column. In C row, it is B column. So now you can see here, in C row, there is one single zero in B column. But in B column, there is one more zero. Can you see that? Yes, that particular zero is being cross-marked. Why we are cross-marking that? Because assignment says if if we are allotting or if we are allocating or if we are assigning any job, it is mandatory to keep in our mind that once the assignment is done, then the next subsequent zeros should be cancelled, because the same job cannot be given it to somebody else, or same machine is not allotted to any other men. So that is the meaning. But that is the idea of this assignment. Now once the assignment is done for C from B, then the subsequent zero is getting cancelled. And from D, see, don't go in for immediately row wise, because row wise all our assignments are already done. Now we have to start by column wise. So to column wise A, there is one single zero. There I am assigning. Once if I assign it, I need to check for other columns as well. column B, there is assignment. Column C, there is an assignment. Column D, there is an assignment. So I need not worry about the these assignments now, because I have all covered my zeros by putting a square bracket around it. Now count how many assignments I have made. How many assignments I have made? 1, 2, 3, 4. So whatever assignments I have made, that is equivalent to order of matrix, that is 4. Clear? Now 4 is the order of matrix. So that means we have got an optimal solution. Now until here, the assignment for traveling salesman problem is okay. The next part is very important. That is step 5. Once the assignment is done, we know that we will always calculate the cost associated with it. That is by bringing the values from the original matrix, right? Original matrix is, the original problem matrix is this, right? Now wherever I have put the 0 square boxes, no, those values, now 16 is there, 40, 32, and this 40. All these are nothing but our assignments. A to C, and then B to D, and then C to B, and then D to A. Now we have understood the values, how we are putting them. From column and to column, from A and to column. These values are from the original matrix, which we were using it from the beginning. Okay. These values are taken from them, 16, 40, 32, 40. So the total you have to do it. Can anybody tell me what is the total?
128.
128. Sure?
Yes.
Okay. It's 128. Good. So now this is okay. The very next step is the traveling salesman problem actually occurs when after the assignment and total cost is been done. That is, to solve a traveling salesman problem, we should have, or we should bear in mind, the two simple rules or the two conditions that we need to check whether the assignment, whatever we have made, are they from and to are different or are same. That we have to see. The first condition says he can travel from one city to same city. That means from A to A, that is not possible. So that condition is satisfied or not, we are trying to see. So A to C is there, B to D is there, C to B is there, D to A is there. So that means all the cities are different. So no need to worry. Our first condition is satisfied. Now, the second, the second condition says that no city is visited twice before the tour of all city is completed. Suppose if he started from A, we should make sure that in between he is not coming back to A again. He should make sure that he should visit all the cities and then come back. Suppose for example, A, B, C, D are there. I'll just show you with an arrow mark here. The points are A, B, C, and D. Now these are the cities that he has been asked to cover. Okay. Now his journey starts from A to C. Now can you see A to C? I'm putting arrow mark from A to C. Okay. A to C. And when we come to C, A to C is there. And from C, his journey is, from C he is going to B. Now from C, the arrow mark is going to B. Yes, that is there. And from B, we can see the arrow mark is coming down to D. Or we can see the assignment also here. From B, the assignment is gone to D. Yes. Now actually A, B, C, D A is the starting point, and if D is the last city that he has to cover, he has n number of options that are available. So as per our assignment rule, the minimum shortest route which says is A to C, C to B, B to D, and he has to come back to original point covering all the cities. So our that condition is also satisfied. A to C he has covered, C to B he has gone, and B to D, and then D to A. Clear? So now if you see, this is the shortest path that is available for a traveler who is making sales and who is taking the help of assignment problem to identify the shortest route that is possible with 128 rupees as the minimum cost he occurs. I mean, he incurs, not occurs, he incurs. So this is all about the traveling salesman problem. Up to step 4, I don't think so you'll have a problem. But when you come to step 5, you got to be very sure the two conditions are satisfied. Okay, from cities and to cities you have to cross verify, and also the second condition which says about that no city is been covered twice without covering all the rest of the cities. So this was all about the traveling salesman problem. So give me a 5 minutes break and then I'll come back.